On this show, we cover some sensitive topics.
Though the obituaries may be outlandish, the people are real.
Names have been changed or omitted in order to respect both the deceased and the survived by.
While death is no laughing matter, some petty last words can provide some pretty entertaining comic relief.
Welcome to Obituary. Welcome back to Obituary. I'm Spencer Henry.
And I'm Madison Reyes.
As always, we've spent about every day, I would say, this week together.
Oh my God, I know.
Somewhat recently, you came on Cult Leader.
Yes.
And we did Church of Satan and Anton LaVey.
Yes.
Part 1 and 2. So much fun.
Love it.
It was weird. I feel like doing Cult Leader together. I mean, we'd had done it once before, but...
Well, remember I turned to you? I was like, I am so nervous. And I don't get nervous on Obituary because I'm like, oh, it's the Geoffs. They know me. And I know a lot of Geoffs are cult babes.
Yeah, there's a heavy crossover.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm nervous.
She told me, I don't know, I was just kind of nervous. I was like, what? Why?
When we first started doing Obituary, it was obviously I had no idea what I was doing. Well, I still don't. But
oh, she's a professional.
It's been a year. No, but now we have our routine, we have our outline. But once a microphone gets in front of you and you know that it's recording you, it's just a whole different story. It really is.
Now it's very...
second nature.
It's second nature. Don't you feel like, I don't really think of people listening when we talk. Just talking to you.
Yeah, on Obituary, but for some reason I'm like, this isn't my show. I don't want to embarrass Spencer. I have no problem.
You do that
on
enough.
Obituary.
You did a great job. It was a fun couple of episodes. So if you guys haven't listened to those, listen to those. But speaking of, I have to tell you, because I know you haven't listened to it yet because I already asked you today, but you asked what I was doing on Cult Leader, and I had just done the episode about faith healing.
Okay. You are in your faith era.
I know. I've been so into televangelism and everything lately.
Satanism.
I am. I'm in it.
You're a theologist.
Uh-huh. Sure. Well, my therapist the other day, I don't know if I told you this, but I was sitting in therapy and we were talking about just religion, and I was having the typical conversation of I don't really know if there's anything after death or whatever. And I don't even know how we got onto that topic. But then I was like, I've actually been really into televangelists lately, because I wanted to ask her a question about the psychology behind televangelists and faith healing and all that. I wanted to see if she would go there with me. And she was like, okay, Spencer, I'm actually going to pause you really quick. She's like, because I want to make sure we cover whatever you want to talk about this week.
You're just thinking of the show.
I'm just paying her to listen to me talk about televangelists. It's the opposite of normal. And I was like, oh yeah, actually. And then we completely redirected the conversation. But I was just like, God, I am just in it all the time.
God. You know what? It's good though, because I feel like a good therapist, at least for us, our personality, we need to be redirected. We need to be corrected.
I will otherwise sit there and I will talk the whole time about televangelists. So it shows that she cares.
Yeah, totally.
She's
I love that.
Hey, this is actually not what you're supposed to be doing. But I also wonder, I wonder if she's listened to either podcast, because she knows that it's my job. I feel like if I had a client and they had a podcast, I'm like, would I listen? I'm a very curious person.
Oh, I am a nosy Nelly. I would know probably where they lived. You'd get the address, you'd Zillow it.
God, who knows?
Who knows?
Well, if you are listening, you're a great therapist. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Madison hears about it every time. I'll call her after I go to therapy when I'm on my way home. She's like, how was therapy? What'd we learn? I'm always like, I'm fixed. I'm fixed. Oh, but the faith healing episode, I was telling you because I almost thought about doing it for obituary as like a coffin spinner, because essentially I did an entire episode about how in a lot of religions, here especially in the US, like Christian Science or Pentecostal, there's a lot of churches that have these really extreme beliefs about medication, and they're like, and they believe that all can be healed through prayer, but if somebody dies, it's God's will. So they don't allow any sort of medical intervention.
Right.
There's so many legal loopholes for people to essentially get away with manslaughter, or, well, it's technically categorically defined as negligent homicide, because these parents will have a child who gets really sick with the flu or something. They will not take them to the doctor. They will instead, the worse the child gets, have people come over and rub anointing oil, which is essentially rancid olive oil, and pray over them. But they won't call the doctors. They won't call an ambulance. Like, even if the child dies and stops breathing, they won't perform CPR, nothing like that. And they'll just let the kid die. And I'm like, this is so fucked up. I'm like, why, especially like in true crime arena, is nobody talking about this? Because it's so bizarre to me. I talked about this one couple, and they had this 15-month-old daughter who ended up getting really sick with all very preventable things. And she ended up passing away. They didn't try and get any help at all. And they ended up going to court because they were charged with negligence or whatever. And the judge only sentenced the dad to 2 months in jail. The mom got off scot-free. And I'm like, why? It is infuriating. I'm like, you knowingly let your child die.
Yeah.
There's no repercussions for that because it's what you believe. So, okay, if I join a religion where they believe that murder is okay, do I get off because of religious exemption? It's like, where are the boundaries with that? Sorry to get on my soapbox for a minute, but I left that episode just infuriated. I'm like, how can I help? How can I get involved? Because it's just not okay.
Right.
And you know, I mean, you and I are the same way, where we're not huge on religion and we're kind of like, let people do their thing.
Yeah.
But when it comes to affecting other people, that's always when I'm like, nope. Can't do that. And especially when it comes to letting your kid die.
Right.
Sorry. That's insane.
God, that is an unwavering faith.
Well, that's where I connect it to a cult. It's a cult-like mentality to believe in something so much that you would be willing to put yourself or a loved one in harm's way. In order to protect your faith.
It's manipulation, though, at its finest. Like, who are they learning that from?
Well, and that's like kind of what I was questioning during the episode. I think I even said something about it. Like, who is responsible here? Is it the church? I mean, yes, they're spreading misinformation. Does it fall on the parents because they're the ones actually letting it happen? Like, who's to blame? And in my opinion, all of them. But I think that a lot of the blame does fall on the parents themselves, because you have to think these people are obviously, it's a form of brainwashing. And they feel like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing because this is what I innately believe, and this is what my belief system tells me is the right thing to do. It's confusing. It's conflicting.
So wild. That's why, I mean, I know we talked about Satanism.
They got it right.
We're not Satanists, but everything we read about them with the Church of Satan and even the Satanic Temple feels like they got it right. It's the ultimate, you are responsible for yourself.
We talked about it on the episode, like accountability, like own your shit. And it's not like a devil worshiping religion. People just get scared because it says Satan in it.
Right.
Oh my God. So how about that? We'll call that the cult leader corner. We just crossed through. Sorry.
Yeah, it is. It's just wild. It's the oldest cult, right? Like religion.
I mean, people question like the difference. And again, we never want to offend anyone. There's good and bad in everything.
There's extremists, and then there's people that are realists about it.
Just is what it is.
It is what it is. Well, I don't know what religion this elephant was practicing, but he got his revenge.
Vengeance?
But I think he was acting in total revenge.
Okay.
Have you heard about this story?
The elephant? No.
Okay, we were sent it so much. It's all over the news right now. This elephant in India kills a woman who was 70 years old. Okay?
Oh, no.
He trampled her to death. So I guess he was like a wild elephant. And researching this, I was watching videos of elephants, like stampedes and people running.
Scary,
but I was like, I don't know. I think elephants are so sweet.
Oh, I've ridden an elephant.
You have?
Yeah.
God.
I don't know if that's not good, but hey, it was the 90s. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what we did at
I rode a
amusement
camel
parks.
in the 90s.
Yeah. That's how we know. I don't know if it's ethical now,
No.
but listen, it was the 90s.
Absolutely not. So this elephant tramples this woman to death. She later died in a hospital from the injuries.
Well, yeah, you get trampled by an elephant. My God.
Well, one of the videos I watched, a guy get trampled and he lived.
Was he fucked up?
I don't know. They didn't go into detail about it. He was alive, though. So they had a funeral for her, and her body was on top of a funeral pyre. She wasn't in like a coffin or casket or anything.
Okay.
Having a funeral for her. Suddenly, that same elephant
No.
shows up to the funeral and he grabs her.
No. At the funeral, no one could stop it?
Yes, nobody could stop it. He grabs her, takes her, runs off with her, stomps on her, fucks her up again.
What? He came back. He gave her a part two.
He came back. He
That
said,
is.
not
I'm
done
sorry
with
for
you."
laughing. That is so unfortunate for that woman and her family. But what the fuck? What did she do to that elephant?
Well, that's where I'm like, I don't know if she was just innocent, but this feels like he was holding a grudge and he wanted to come back for more. And if that is the case, then I say good for you.
Hey, if reincarnation is a thing, she fucked with that elephant, the wrong elephant in a past life.
Oh my God, yes.
Imagine being at like your grandma's funeral or something and an elephant that trampled
Shows up.
her
Oh my
comes
gosh.
and grabs her.
Do you want to talk about my grandma's funeral?
Oh, please. It's been a year. I feel like you can tell this story now.
My grandma, I've said this before, the coolest fucking woman in the world. I miss her every day. She was the funniest person I have ever known. And I actually talked to my brother about this. I'm like, I really want to tell this story, but I'm like, I don't want to be disrespectful to her. And my brother was like, are you kidding me? She would love it. Like, she would get a kick out of this. So we're at her funeral and she's buried in a beautiful cemetery in Los Angeles, but it's very hilly. There's tons of hills. And where she was buried was a hill. We already got done with the ceremony, and then we take her out to bury her. Her coffin started sliding down the hill. Our cousin had to catch it. And my brother said he looked like he was on a Jamaican bobsled team.
Oh, Grandma, where you going?
She's going to haunt me.
She's like, I am out of here.
She's like, this is too sad for me. She wouldn't want anybody crying.
Goodbye.
I'm out of here. But I also told you how my sister had gone to a psychic. I know I've talked about it on this show before because my grandma would always say to my grandpa that she was going to come back and haunt him. And so my sister was at a psychic and the psychic started saying, should I be worried? Like, there's a woman here telling me that if I don't get this information right, she's going to haunt me. And my sister was like, oh, that's my grandma.
Oh my God, I love it.
God, rest in peace. She was the best.
Ugh. And she's coming to a town near you. They were never able to catch it. It kept going. She's traveling somewhere down the 405.
Legend has it.
She was never seen again.
I mean, you guys send me the funniest stories. I have to be able to share a personal story.
I love it. I love it. That's one of my favorite stories.
Okay, but wait. Speaking of grandmas, well, actually great aunts.
Okay, speaking of elder relatives.
I have a listener email.
Oh, perfect. You know what one, sorry, but that I still think about all the time is the one who was getting cranked up in the coffin.
I know, with like a bunch of blush.
On the face. I think about that one all the time.
That was probably one of my favorites, but this is a pretty good one, man. So it says, "Hey, Spencer and Madison, I love listening to y'all's podcast while I'm at the gym or while cleaning my house. My best friend and I were talking and decided that y'all deserve to hear this crazy story about her aunt. So here we go. My best friend's aunt passed away early this year from COVID. She lived and passed away in Montana. The entirety of said aunt's family lives here in Texas. So the family decided to plan funeral arrangements here in Texas since most of the family lives down here. So Auntie made the trip to Texas in a cardboard box in the back of the car."
Oh.
The family members refused to purchase a coffin. At first, they didn't even want to get her embalmed, but one of the sons ended up paying for her to be embalmed.
Oh, that would have been a different car ride had she not been.
That would have been stinky.
Crack the window.
So the aunt's corpse traveled across the United States in a cardboard box in the back of the car. She traveled through at least 5 states in the cardboard box. Then, when they finally got her to Texas for the funeral, they didn't want to pay for someone to dig a hole to bury her, so the family dug a random hole for her and buried her.
What?
It was all just crazy how the entire thing happened. If y'all talk about this on the podcast, y'all can use my name, but it's probably going to be hard to say. It's pronounced Charbonnet. I love listening to you guys. But okay, I immediately thought of, okay, you know National Lampoon's Vacation?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Chevy Chase.
Yes.
I had to pull up the clip because I remembered their aunt died
Yes.
in the car with them. And
Did they like strap her to the roof?
They strapped her to the roof sitting up.
Yes.
So it was like a station wagon and they were just driving through town and she was...
Imagine getting pulled over. I was also thinking, like, is it legal to just carry a dead body across state lines? Or do you have to, like, do they have to be in some sort of ambulatory transportation vehicle?
I don't know, but...
I could not... If you and I had to transport a body, we would be losing our minds at every bump in the road. I already know.
If there are any networks out there that would like to sign us up for, like, a Simple Life situation...
Where we just go do funerary work... Imagine. Oh, my God.
We'd lose it.
Ugh.
I talk a big game, but I think if I had to like be in close proximity and like get a dead person dressed, I might pass out. Who knows? My ankle gives out.
Oh, while we're transporting a coffin? My God.
Oh, my
Bodies
God.
flying.
Wow.
There's probably some health code violations there. God. All right. I have some Am I the Assholes for us.
Oh, please. Give them to me.
Okay, this first one says, am I the asshole for forcing my son to stay with me after his father's death instead of with his relatives? When I was 18, I pretty much wound up in a church marriage with Eric, who was 10 years older than me. Pause. Speaking of, sorry, I fucking cut things off so much, but have you watched Keep Sweet and Obey?
Who?
Keep Sweet and Obey, that new Netflix thing about the FLDS.
No.
It's crazy. We're going to watch it. Sorry, when I was 18, I pretty much wound up in a church marriage with Eric, who was 10 years older than me. I had my son Ethan, 13, with him. Even though we had Ethan, things weren't good with Eric and were horrible. I didn't know how to get out. I didn't even have a computer to learn how, but I still made the stupidest mistake and had an affair with Amos, my current husband. Simply put, it cost me everything from my marriage to my son to my place in the community. I did get partial custody of Ethan, but he refused to come over and see me. He would refuse to eat and even try and run away, so I resorted to using my custody to see him at big events for him, but he didn't even seem happy to have me there. It's been 3 years since the divorce, and Eric passed away in December in a car crash. I obviously got full custody of Ethan, even though his aunt wanted to take him in. It's been rough since then, and he's only happy when we let him babysit his sister. I've tried everything to try to make him happy, and I understand they won't happen overnight. He told me last night that he wants to go spend summer break with his aunt and her family since they're going to Quebec for July and August. I said no because it's so far away and it would be for 2 months. If it were only for a week or two or even a month, I'd say yes. I pointed out to him all of the stuff that we could do in that time as a family. He only got mad and called me an asshole for forcing him to stay with me instead of where he belonged. But he's my son and he does belong with me. Am I the asshole?
I don't think so.
I know, that's kind of a hard one because I'm like, on one hand, if he didn't grow up with her at all,
Oh, that's true.
and he was mainly with them, and it's like, oh, his aunt who he loves and family members that he feels safe with
That's true.
are going for a summer trip.
I think that she needs to let him make the decision.
I mean, he's 16. He's old enough to
Yeah.
do, but I mean, like, you did cheat on your husband, his dad, and you're the reason that you didn't have custody of him. So
That's true.
I kind of feel like
Maybe you are the asshole.
for that, but if you're trying to like make it work and like rebuild a family, I also understand like wanting to be like, no, I really want to use this time to try and get us to like come together as a family. You can't let 16-year-olds call the shots.
Right. That's a tough one.
Tough one. Maybe no one's the asshole.
It's just, yeah.
I mean, he shouldn't have called his mom an asshole.
Well.
Okay, this next one. This is... Okay, would I be the asshole if I said my coworker's brother's death wasn't a tragedy due to how preventable it was? Last week has been quite a disaster for my coworker, 30, female. You can call her Allie, but anyway, I remember her being confident and content the day we went into work. Her brother, Rhett, 26-year-old male, would end up falling off a roof of his house hours later. From what I've heard, he was conscious at the time of the hit and believed he was okay and he felt fine, so he didn't call emergency services. Turns out he was really messed up internally and died. And when I found out Allie's brother died, I was in shock and saddened by her loss. I couldn't imagine losing a sibling. However, when I heard more information, I couldn't help but think it was just reckless. What was he doing on the roof? Why didn't he just call for emergency services just in case? If that was me, I would have definitely done that, especially knowing something like this could put my family through grief and sorrow if it ended fatally. It was unfortunate that they had to lose him, but when I think of tragedy, he's just not what I think of. Careless and reckless deaths don't belong on the same context of tragedy as other types of deaths. Now, I would never say this to Allie, but I've considered venting this to other friends or coworkers, but I don't know if they would agree with my point or not. Many of the coworkers especially seem like the type to disagree with my stance, but it only makes me feel it stronger in a sense. A reason why this would come off as asshole type behavior is that Rhett was a minimum wage worker from lower class income, and he may have just decided to let it go because he was afraid of being in steep medical debt if he went to a hospital. I do see the point of how class would have an effect on his death, but I don't know if that was really his reasoning. I don't know him well, and I'm not a minimum wage worker. Would just simply venting to someone I knew who knew Allie or Rhett be out of line, or is it okay?
Who the fuck are you?
Every
You
once in a
are a
while.
dumb bitch.
Oh.
Okay, do you know how many stupid shit I have done?
How many stupid shit have you done?
How much stupid shit I have done where I probably should be dead.
Oh.
And I think it would be a tragedy.
Yeah.
And also, why are you bringing class and minimum? Fuck you. Also, it's absolutely a tragedy. It's absolutely sad. But why are you letting it get to you this much? Like, that
No
you
life.
need to talk about it?
No life loser. Mm-hmm. No life loser. Has never gone through anything real.
I hope that, only the deaths in your life can be, I guess, categorized to your liking.
What an asshole thing to even
What?
think. And those are the things. It's one thing to think something because we all have tons of thoughts. If you had a coworker who you hated and something awful happened to them, your initial thought might not be, wow, I have so much empathy for the situation that they're going through right now. It could be like, well, fuck them. Like if someone's wife cheated on them or something, you'd be like, all right, well, fuck him. He deserves it. He's an asshole. But you don't convey that. You don't put it
No.
out there in words
Absolutely not. You need to check yourself before
you wreck yourself.
Exactly. You're
And
a
if you
bitch.
do wreck yourself, hopefully it's so harsh that you get to be a fucking tragedy and not.
I'm sorry. So she's saying it's his fault because he was up on the roof being reckless and he didn't call emergency services right away?
Do you know how many of my friends would never call emergency services for things like that? Myself included, honestly, with most things.
Well, also, have you ever fallen off a roof? Maybe he couldn't do it.
Well, it's saying that he didn't want to. Like, he I think he survived but died later because of internal
Got it.
things. But do you know what healthcare is like in the trash that is America? It's a dumpster fire over here. It takes one trip to the hospital to be like, I'm not doing this again, because it's thousands and thousands of dollars for the ambulance ride alone is like $2,000 minimum.
When I passed out, I like hit my head really hard on the kitchen floor. Remember that? And I so badly was trying to not take an ambulance, but I literally couldn't. It was like life and death. I was like, I cannot get into a car. I need help.
Yeah.
And took an ambulance, thousands of dollars.
Yeah. It's insane.
For a 5-minute ride.
With insurance. With insurance, too. That's the thing. It's such a fucking joke.
Wow. What a little bitch.
Yeah, you pissed us off real good.
Yeah.
And now we hate you.
Yeah.
Where do you work? Tell us. God, sometimes I wish I could just give it to these people in person.
I know.
You're an asshole.
Yep. Good Lord.
I realized that's not really one to vote on because I knew we were going to agree on it.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make us mad, I guess.
You know, it got me going. It got me fired up. I'm ready.
Oh, we're ready to go.
We are ready to go.
Speaking of, I'm up first this week. Do you have a side bitch for us?
I sure do.
Let's do it.
Okay, do you remember Internet Explorer?
Yeah, it's my favorite search engine.
Well, she died.
Oh, no. Rest in peace, girly.
Rest in peace. I've got an obituary for her. After long years of palliative care, Internet Explorer has reached the end of its life, Microsoft says. The much-reveled 26-year-old web browser once dominated the internet, but never shook its reputation as the slow, buggy net surfing option. Explorer, preceded in death by similarly reveled Microsoft icons, Hotmail and Clippy. I've never heard of Clippy.
Remember working on like a Microsoft Word document? There used to be this little animated paperclip.
The paperclip. I remember.
See?
Well, they are all survived by Microsoft Edge, the next generation browser Microsoft first put out in 2015.
Oh, I don't even know Microsoft Edge.
I know. He sounds like a bad boy.
Yeah, kind of hot.
Yeah. Microsoft announced Internet Explorer's nearing death in June 2021, saying that Microsoft Edge was faster, more secure, and compatible with early internet websites, qualities its predecessor was maligned for lacking. At the time, on social media, people familiar with Explorer paid tribute to the flawed browser. Internet Explorer being reliably unreliable. What a legacy, wrote Twitter user Adriana Figueroa. Other members of the family, including Microsoft 365, the company's subscription-based app bundle, and the video conferencing platform Microsoft Teams, have already said their goodbyes to Internet Explorer. The ghost of Internet Explorer will live on for those who choose to believe. Edge offers a built-in Internet Explorer mode, though it might seem strange to young people whose internet experiences never revolved around the blue E icon. Explorer once was seen as an unavoidable cornerstone of a big tech monopoly. When Windows introduced Explorer in August 1995, the browser's success killed off the once leading Netscape navigator. At its height in the early 2000s, Explorer controlled 95% of the browser market. But Microsoft failed to keep pace with competitors, and Internet Explorer began to lose respect among others for its poor security, bungled renderings of web pages, and sluggishness.
It's not... He was born that way.
I know, but he didn't keep up with the times.
Well, a lesson to be learned.
Yes. Still, Explorer refused to retire, and Microsoft tried to revitalize its image by acknowledging the browser's bad rap. In 2012, it launched a playful ad campaign rebranding Explorer as the browser you love to hate. Indeed, its lousy image has served as a meme fodder, a browser too slow to load the news of its demise, or the best browser to use to download a superior one. In a 2014 Ask Me Anything discussion on Reddit, Microsoft engineers who worked on the browser said the company had debated renaming Explorer to separate ourselves from negative perceptions that no longer reflect select our product today. But it was too late. The damage to Internet Explorer's reputation was done. Frustrated users had already flocked to Mozilla's Firefox and Google Chrome. When Edge came online in 2015, Adweek's Christina Manolos told NPR that a departure date for the embattled Explorer was overdue. Google Chrome is now the leading browser, holding a share of nearly 65% of the global market, according to browser tracker Stat Counter, while Edge sits at under 4%.
Wow. You know, I'm a Safari guy myself.
Me
but
too.
Really sad to hear about the passing.
I'm a Safari girl, but I do remember that E icon.
Oh, iconic.
It was always fine for me.
Wow. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, girly.
Ugh.
That was so touching. I might need a little break. We'll be right back. And we're back.
All right, Madison. Well, we've gone over euphemisms and obituaries, but this week I decided to venture into some well-known and lesser-known phrases that all share a common theme: death.
Ooh. Oh my gosh. I love a good phrase.
Yes. Some of them I had definitely heard before. Some are so bizarre I was dying. No pun intended. But this idea actually came to me after a bunch of people were sending us the Victorian slang thing. Did you see that?
Yes.
Oh my God. It's so good.
You know we love those Victorians.
We love the Victorians. Actually, I want to play a game. So I don't have the actual examples people sent us, but I did find this list of Victorian slang on Mental Floss. And I'm going to read you some phrases and see if you can guess what they mean.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Arf, arf, and arf. He's so arf, arf, and arf.
Stop. Hot?
No.
Gross?
No, one more guess.
He's like a dog?
No, it's a figure of speech used to describe a drunk guy. He's very arf and arf, it says.
How do you think they would say it though? Like, he is arf, arf, and arf.
Well, Victorian, it'd be like, he's... I don't know. I don't know how they
I'm
talk.
like, are we going
We're
1920s
like,
right now?
I don't know how they talk.
He's off, and off.
He's off, off, and off, off, and off. Okay, a church bell.
Sweet as pie.
Talkative woman.
Okay.
We'd be church bells for sure. The church bells are ringing, babe. Gas pipes.
He farts a lot.
It's a term for especially tight pants.
Oh my God, you got some gas pipes on, don't ya?
Yeah, baby. Got the morbs. This, I think, was on that list. So this is a pop quiz.
I know. I feel like I remember it. I don't know. He's dead?
It says the use of this 1880 phrase indicated temporary melancholy.
Got it. So he has depression.
I guess. A nosebagger.
I don't know.
We know a few of these.
Oh, nosy?
It's someone who takes a day trip to the beach, for example, and brings his own provisions, but doesn't contribute at all to the people he's visiting.
A cheapskate.
Uh-huh.
A
Yes.
little, a mooch.
Yeah. Umble come stumble.
Excuse me, what?
Umble come stumble?
I feel like that's a drunk thing. Is it?
No.
What is it?
It means thoroughly understood.
Oh, please.
Let someone say that. Next time I ask someone for something and they give me the right answer, I'm just going to be like, all right. Umble come stumble.
He's not umble come stumble, Spencer. He's arf, arf, and arf.
He's arf, arf, and arf. All right. Let's move into some death expressions. Better yet, let's call them our death expressions.
Ooh.
I'm sure we've all heard he bought the farm.
Yes.
Do you know where it's derived from?
No.
It's so interesting. It has actual roots to farms. Apparently, the expression bought the farm or buying the farm came about because military pilots would sometimes crash and die during landing on a farmer's land. And when this happened, farmers were then able to sue the government. So technically, the person who died bought the farm for the person who owned the land.
No.
Isn't that wild?
Wow.
Yeah. This next one is perhaps best known as a lyric. Another one bites the dust.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of sudden death resulting in a body collapsing into dust has origins that, quote, date back far earlier. Lick the dust can be traced to Psalms 72 in the King James Version of the Bible. They that dwell in the wilderness shall bow before him, and his enemies shall lick the dust.
Wow. Okay.
Spiteful. Sleeping with the fishes.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that's like a mob.
Long been associated with the mob, but it actually dates back to German villagers in 1836. Edmund Spencer describes in Sketches of Germany, the villagers would threaten a man with violence and tell them they would sleep with the fishes if they went against what they were asking them to do.
Wow.
And I guess fish do apparently sleep.
Do they?
Apparently, but they don't do it the way we do. When a fish goes to sleep,
Well, I would hope.
they like don't tuck into bed, I'm telling you. Because they don't have eyelids, so they just relax their tails and enter a state of quote unquote reduced arousal.
That's cute.
They just kind of bop around.
Yeah.
Love that. This one surprised me. Did you know that the term deadline has some pretty gnarly roots?
No.
It's something that I'm shocked we use, honestly.
Really?
Because apparently a deadline was a literal line that was drawn to stop prisoners from escaping in the American Civil War. And if they passed that line, they would be shot in the head.
Oh, fuck.
I know.
Oh, my God. Well, we have a deadline and you have to meet that deadline.
You have to meet the deadline.
Wow.
Yeah, or you'll get shot in the fucking head, I guess.
Wow.
Basket case?
Uh-huh.
I mean, I normally just think of someone who's kind of nutty.
I think of someone who's like going through it and like...
Or like a mom carrying 5 kids and like,
Yeah.
I can't do it all.
Right.
Well, the phrase is really dark. It originated after First World War soldiers who had lost all of their limbs were reported to have been carried around in baskets.
Oh, God.
In 1919, a bulletin was issued by the U.S. Command on Public Information saying, the Surgeon General of the Army denies that there is any foundation for stories that have been circulated of the existence of basket cases in our hospitals. So who knows?
Wow.
Pressed for an answer also has a horribly literal origin. In the Middle Ages,
Torture, probably.
captives would have heavy weights loaded straight onto their chest in order to squeeze a confession out of them during interrogations.
Oh, boy.
So you're literally being pressed for an answer. Bless you. Have you heard this one?
Yes, whenever I sneeze.
Yeah. Well, saying this after someone sneezes dates back to the 6th century when a plague was going across Europe. I guess Pope Gregory started the trend of saying bless you after somebody sneezed because a sneeze was usually the first sign that they had been infected with the plague. So he was literally like...
blessing them.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I love a tidbit and I love learning about terms like this because I like to know where they're from.
Right.
Because they also come up a lot and then you can be like, did you know?
Yeah, well, I always will say bless you to someone if they sneeze.
You're never going to think of it the same.
Oh.
God. Bite the bullet.
Okay.
What do you think?
Stopping a bullet with your teeth.
Well, before anesthetic, hurt soldiers would have to be operated on and they would give them a few shots for the pain. And the phrase is said to have derived from clenching a bullet in their teeth to cope with the agony.
Oh.
Wild. Whenever I see old movies and they're like performing surgeries on people like that, or like spy movies or whatever, and they're injured, and they have to just like sew them up or whatever, and I'm like, oh
I
God,
know.
oh my God, you talk about I guess we've never had a good medical situation.
I know. Well, I even think about like I've tried to wax myself before, and like even just
self-inflicting,
trying to get
It's a mental mind fuck.
See, I've been through the same.
Okay, wait. We have to talk about rule of thumb.
Okay. It's not a measurement?
No. So this actually was when like a couple was fighting. In 1886, Sir Francis Buller ruled that a man was entitled to beat his wife with a stick, provided it was no thicker than his thumb.
Why do we even use that anymore?
Isn't that crazy?
Holy shit.
Now, listen, I pulled from a few different sources. Of course, we always list all our sources. So who knows? There's probably expressions I feel like are one of those things that could be derived from many different things. But I'm like, the fact that that's a known one is horrifying.
Yeah.
Another popular term you'll hear when someone passes is that they kicked the bucket, which is probably one of the most popular ones that I've heard. But its origins are actually disgusting.
Oh, okay.
Now, there's two that I heard of, but we'll start with this first one. According to The Guardian, most etymologists agree that the bucket refers to a kind of yoke that was used to hold pigs by their heels so that they could be slaughtered, and was particularly used in parts of Norfolk. The subsequent death throw spasms of the unfortunate animals created the impression that they were kicking the bucket around.
No.
But also people say that it has to do with people hanging themselves because they would sometimes stand on top of like a bucket or something, be hanging there and kick it. Yeah.
Oh boy, that is dark. We've read a bunch of obituaries that have said, I've bought the farm, I kicked the bucket.
We've read ones that say both of them, I feel like, in it. It's crazy. And then I just had some bonuses for us. Death by misadventure is when somebody died taking a risk. And I have seen this in obituaries before. I love this one. To give up the ghost means to leave one's body. And that, I love that.
Love it.
We need to, if I could bring back any of these, well, a lot of these expressions I don't want to use anymore, knowing that, but if we could bring back one, I would say give up the ghost.
Absolutely.
Oh, she gave up the ghost. You hear?
Her body, yeah.
Oh,
I love that.
Love it. And then lastly, I feel like another really popular one is pull the plug, which is of course derived from pulling the plug on like a ventilator, keeping someone alive.
Wow.
So the more you know.
The more you know. We have learned.
Oh,
English
we're just
class.
Learning. Class is over.
We're going to have to switch to our next period.
Yeah, we're going to our next course. So what had you spinning in your coffin this week?
Oh my God. Well, the next course is cryonics.
Oh, baby. I love learning about cryonics.
All right. Remember when we talked about, I think you talked about it, and I think his name was Giovanni Aldini. He was the guy who would reanimate dead people.
Oh, the galvanic reanimation. Yes. How could I forget?
So I got inspired by that because I think it's so wild reanimating someone, right? Bringing somebody back from a dead state. So another alternative to that is cryonics. The actual word cryonics is derived from a term in Greek meaning cold. So as you can surmise, cryonics is very, very cold and dealing with freezing. It is the process of basically freezing someone after they are determined to be legally dead in hopes of stopping decay and preserving every inch of that body so that in years and years from now, hopefully our medicine and science is to the point where we can unfreeze these humans and actually bring them back to life.
All I think of is Walt Disney.
I'm going to talk about him. That's a little conspiracy, but it's absolutely wild. And before researching, I just thought, oh, okay, they put him in a freezer. They just freeze him, right?
Yeah.
Easy peasy. Well, no, there's a whole process that we'll get into, but just the thought of it to me sounds like a Twilight Zone episode or like a science fiction story or like you see in movies, like, you know, a few people are frozen and then wake up years later and right? It just sounds like a story. Well, it kind of is derived from a science fiction story in the 1920s and 30s. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that it is still in production as of last year, but by the name of Amazing. So there was this science fiction magazine and there was a story in it in 1931 written by a man named Neil R. Jones called The Jameson Satellite. I want to read you the prologue of The Jameson Satellite because it's just wild and it will give you a good feel for how this other person became obsessed with this story and then kind of started the cryonics movement. Okay.
Let's hear it.
Alrighty. So this is the prologue. It says the rocket satellite. In the depths of space, some 20,000 miles from the Earth, the body of Professor Jameson within its rocket container cruised upon an endless journey, circling the giant sphere. The rocket was a satellite of the huge revolving world around which it held to its orbit. In the year 1958, Professor Jameson had sought for a plan whereby he might preserve his body indefinitely after his death. He had worked long and hard upon the subject. Since the time of the pharaohs, the human race had looked for a means by which the dead might be preserved against the ravages of time. Great had been the art of the Egyptians in the embalming of their deceased, a practice which was later lost to humanity of the ensuing mechanical age, never to be rediscovered. But even the embalming of the Egyptians, so Professor Jameson had argued, would be futile in the face of millions of years, the dissolution of the corpses being just as eventual as immediate cremation following death. The professor had looked for a means by which the body could be preserved perfectly forever. But eventually, he had come to the conclusion that nothing on earth is unchangeable beyond a certain limit of time. Just as long as he sought an earthly means of preservation, he was doomed to disappointment. All earthly elements are composed of atoms, which are forever breaking down and building up, but never destroying themselves. A match may be burned, but the atoms are still unchanged, having resolved themselves into smoke, carbon dioxide, ashes, and certain basic elements. It was clear to the professor that he could never accomplish his purpose if he were to employ one system of atomic structure, such as embalming fluid or other concoctions, to preserve another system of atomic structure, such as the human body, when all atomic structure is subject to universal change, no matter how slow. He had then soliloquized upon the possibility of preserving the human body in its state of death until the end of all earthly time, to that day when the earth would return to the sun from which it had sprung. Quite suddenly, one day he had conceived the answer to the puzzling problem which obsessed his mind, leaving his awed with its wild, uncanny potentials. So, basically, this professor asks his nephew in the story to make sure to place his body into a rocket and launch his body into outer space.
Oh, love it.
Where it will be preserved and frozen in this rocket. And so the nephew does, launches him out. He's floating in space, perfectly preserved for 40 million years.
Oh my God.
Until some species of alien sees him, captures him, brings him back to life, like thaws him out, decapitates him, takes his brain, puts it in a robot, and that's how all these aliens are living.
Well, and that's how Earth was made.
Exactly.
Right?
Okay. So,
and that's Scientology.
There you go. His name was Robert L. Hubbard or whatever.
Yeah, Ron
L. Hubbard. So this short story, a man named Robert Chester Wilson Edinger grew up reading this magazine and read this short story when he was like 12 or 13, and he just became enthralled with it. He loved the Jameson satellite, and he definitely felt that this was a very large possibility, like that this could actually happen. He believed that one day, maybe even in his lifetime, he would have the science to be able to freeze a human corpse like immediately upon death and achieve immortality.
Wow. What a story.
What a story, right? So then Robert Edinger, he went on to become a physics teacher and a math teacher. And he also fought in World War II at the Battle of the Bulge, which I knew you would love that. It was like a major German offensive attack. He was seriously injured and they thought he was going to lose his legs, but they did like an experimental bone graft on his legs and he was able to save his legs.
Huh.
It really kind of furthered his fascination with immortality and experimental treatments. So then in 1962, he wrote and published the book, The Prospect of Immortality. He had a short story published before this and another couple of books after this one, but this one had the backing of a lot of people and it was a serious hit. Everyone was reading it and everyone was so intrigued, and this book showed a very true scientific proposal of cryonics and how it would work. I also feel like in the 50s and early 60s, basically kind of any time in at least America, everything was very, very, very much based on how you were perceived, how you look. And so to be able to achieve immortality or eternal youth, sign me up.
Death becomes her.
Death becomes her. We would take the potion. So this book really started the cryonics movement, and he is known as the father of cryonics. In 1966, he founded the Cryonic Society of Michigan, which is now known as the Immortal Society. And there was others like him. There was a man named Evan Cooper. He wrote a book on cryonics the same year. And so I'm going to get into the process of it, but Edinger's mother, his first wife, his second wife, and I believe him were all cryopreserved.
Wow.
Yes. So the process. I definitely, like I said, just thought it was like, cool, you're preserved in a facility and you're just in ice, right?
I picture like drawers in like a room that's like icy, frosty.
So yeah, I think of Resident Evil. If you guys didn't know, Spencer and I love Resident Evil.
Sure.
We are Raccoon City girlies.
Yes.
So the process is definitely different from what I expected. Ideally, if you are interested in cryopreservation and, God willing, don't die unexpectedly or in a way that you are decapitated, because your brain is like the most important part of this.
We're fucked.
yeah, I don't know if we want to preserve ours. So you should already be a member at a facility, and we'll get into one facility that I want to talk about, but you should be a member already at a facility.
Okay.
So ideally, you kind of give them a heads up, like, I have a terminal illness or I'm not doing well, and they will be able to send a team out that's basically at your bedside upon death. So immediately after you are pronounced legally dead, there should be a team right there ready to preserve you.
See, I would think you would still have to have a heartbeat or something.
They'll kind of do that artificially because that is the big thing. They want to preserve every cell, everything. You will be injected immediately with an anticoagulant because they don't want any blood clots. They use, depending on your weight, about 30,000 units of heparin, which is a normal prescription blood thinner drug that you can take if you have those issues. Then they want to start chest compressions right away for like 5 minutes to be able to move all of that through your body. Then you will be immediately cooled down. They'll put you in kind of like an ice bath or even like a body bag full of ice. No funeral with the body.
Okay.
Like you don't have time for that. You need to be frozen.
Yes.
Okay. Now it's time to be transported to one of the cryonics facilities of your choice, wherever you're a member at. These facilities have in-house operating rooms where you are taken. And this is where a process called vitrification takes place. They do a basic procedure called a thoracotomy, which is where they open up your chest to access your heart. And then using all of your arteries and veins, they remove all your blood and all the water from your cells. And then they replace all of that with a cryoprotectant agent, which is a medical grade antifreeze. Because what they don't want is to freeze you and all of your cells, blood, everything start to crystallize. Because if it does that, then everything's damaged.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Wild, right? So then after that whole process is done, you are cooled down to about 196 degrees Celsius, or in Fahrenheit, I went on a little Fahrenheit calculator, and it's about 384 negative degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow.
You're in this cooling state for about a week, and you are frozen and solid, but your insides are preserved, again, not crystallized, and this prevents any decay, any deterioration.
Oh, had they known about this, they wouldn't have tried to self-mummify.
Oh, yeah. Now you are ready to be put into your long-term resting place, which is a big tank full of freezing cold liquid nitrogen. And that's how how they freeze you.
Whoa.
You're
I want to
in-
go. I want to do that.
Okay, it's crazy because all of these facilities just look like normal office buildings. You'd never know that there are bodies being frozen.
What happens if they have their lease ends? They're like, oh, we got to move these bodies.
I thought about that, or like there's a nitrogen shortage or something.
Oh, God.
Nobody knows how to unfreeze them, though. That's the whole thing. We don't have the technology today to be able to do that in a way that will not destroy your cells.
So that it's like a work in progress thing.
Yes.
They're like, hey, we're going to inject you with antifreeze and take out your blood, but hopefully we figure out how to undo that one day.
Right.
That's like taking apart a computer or something. Like,
I watched a documentary on Vice, and there was a lot of skeptics. There was a guy who runs Skeptic magazine, and then there was another guy who was also a skeptic. He's like, go home, take a meat patty out of your refrigerator, like a hamburger patty, and turn that back into a cow.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I mean, it's interesting. Who knows, though?
Who knows? And so what they think will be like the best way to do it is with nanotechnology, which means they will need nanoscopic repair devices that can access every single cell and tissue.
Oh, please.
Regenerate and fix these tissues.
Does that come with the cost? Like, come on. How are you going to pay for this?
Cost. So these little devices need to somehow get into your body and repair tissue and heal the illness that contributed to your death.
That's not going to happen.
You never know.
You never know, but I just don't. I always thought it was just like you freeze them and then try and take them out and somehow replace their heart or something, get them going.
No. The cost, the brain, which is the most important thing. You need your brain. The brain is where your conscience is.
Right.
Right? Like, you'll have all your thoughts. You'll be your same person. We're just preserving it right now. If you just wanted your head done, it would be $80,000 minimum.
Not as bad as I would think.
Not that bad. And I believe that's for life. I don't think it's like a monthly or a yearly thing. It's like for life. Your whole body would be $200,000 minimum.
Again, not bad. If you
think about
really
the
believe
decades and decades that they will preserve you.
Oh my God, with inflation and everything, get in while you can.
Oh, there are family deals at one facility that I read about. So let's say I am paying that membership, that $200,000 membership. I get frozen. And then my husband wants to do it. He'll get 50% off.
Oh, wow.
If we have kids, they'll get 50% off.
Do they do animals?
They throw in the pet. And I read that the pet, sometimes depending on the size, can actually be in the same chamber as you.
Hot dog would be able to go with me. Mm-hmm. Hot dog, do you want to be cryogenically frozen with me?
And they say that their reasoning for that is that they don't want the animal to come back and not be with the family.
Oh my God.
Love it.
Oh my God.
Love it. So in this documentary on Vice that I watched, they visited Alcor, which is probably the largest and most notable of its kind. Alcor is I believe it's in Arizona. So it's funny, the juxtaposition of like, it is hot as fuck.
Hot as fuck. Cacti
everywhere. And then they have their cold ass facility right there. The Alcor Foundation has been around since 1972, but yeah, you would never know that this office building housed 191 dead frozen bodies inside of it. They interviewed Max Moore, who's the president and CEO of Alcor, and he very calmly spoke about how death is not natural, which I thought was a crazy take on death.
Yeah.
I thought it was the most natural thing.
Hey.
I've watched separate interviews from him, and he believes that cryonics is extending emergency medicine. So where today's doctors are like, listen, we really tried to keep this person alive, but they are gone. They are dead. Cryonics preserves that legally dead person in hopes that one day we will have that nanotechnology to be able to reanimate.
Why not?
Why not? I thought this was very interesting because it definitely, like, I think about how did they get it exactly right? You know, how did they get the formula right? They had to do experiments to figure it out. So the first cryonically frozen person was in 1966. It was an unknown middle-aged woman, and she died and was embalmed, like a regular embalming.
Uh-huh.
But then They froze her in liquid nitrogen, and she remained frozen for, I think, about a year while they were kind of getting everything together, figuring out the right formulas. And then they realized she was already embalmed. So they thawed her out and gave her a real burial. So the real, like, cryonically frozen person is Dr. James Bedford, and he absolutely wanted this. He was a psychologist and even left money in his will for it. They started the process hours after his death, and he is at Alcor. And I read that in 1991, they switched him to a different tank, and apparently he was still perfectly preserved.
Good for him.
I know. Another notable preservation, and probably the most famous, is Ted Williams. He was a professional Major League Baseball player. He played for the Boston Red Sox. He had a ton of nicknames. Some were Teddy Ballgame, or the Thumper, or the Kid.
Or the Arf and Arf and Arf, Arf and Arf.
Arf and Arf and Arf. He was one of the greatest hitters in the history of baseball, and he was very interested in cryonics. He passed away in 2002. According to an article in Mental Floss, it says, quote, "The circumstances surrounding his freezing are a bit controversial. His son, John Henry Williams, was adamant that his father wanted to be preserved to be brought back in the future, and wanted his whole family to follow suit so that they could be reunited when technology and medicine made it possible. However, Ted's will said he wanted to be cremated, and his daughter, by his first wife, took John Henry to court over the matter. John Henry produced a family pact signed on a cocktail napkin. Why would you write your last wishes on a cocktail napkin and expect it to hold up in court? Anyway, after much debate over authenticity, the napkin pact was allowed and Ted was frozen, which leads us to number 8, his son. The article goes on to say, yep, Todd's son stayed true to his word. Despite a bone marrow transplant from his sister, John Henry died of leukemia on March 6, 2004, and joined his dad at Alcor in Scottsdale, Arizona. So my sister's husband used to play for the Red Sox.
Right.
So I was texting him and I called him and was like, did you ever know him? Now, this was before his time playing. So he wrote to me. He said, yes, I know about Ted Williams and his cryonics adventure. He is arguably the best hitter to ever play the game. He was playing when I was a young boy. I had the honor of meeting him on 2 separate occasions. My first was in spring training, 1986. It was my first year with the Red Sox. The next time was at the 1999 All-Star Game at Fenway Park. At our first meeting, I was introduced to him and he said, I like the way you pitch. You would have given me a tough time. Coming from the best hitter in baseball, that may have been the best compliment I could have ever received. So Ted was also a World War II fighter pilot, like in between his prime in baseball. And he just, the more I read about him, he sounds like a wonderful guy. So if they were able to bring him back, bring him back.
Bring him back.
Bring him back.
I love that. I love that Joe knew him.
Yeah. So cool. So then back to the start when we talked about Mr. Walt Disney. That is a rumor, apparently. Who knows, though? Who knows? I feel like he might have a little.
That Disney money, they keep secrets. See, those are the people who I feel like you just really don't know.
I think there are probably more people frozen than we think.
Yeah.
I mean,
if I was going to do it, I don't even know if I would want to tell that many people because I wouldn't want other people to. I'd be like, I want to be one of the frozen.
I just don't want to wake up in 40 million years, or even, okay, let's say we get the technology in 150 years. I don't want to.
No.
I don't think so.
It's interesting because we kind of flip-flop because, like, I'm always like, I don't want to live that long.
I know.
I mean, I want to live a long life, but not excessive.
Right.
But I kind of am interested in cryonics. I'm surprised Elon Musk hasn't figured out, like, his own company for cryonics, because don't you feel like that's some shit he would do?
Absolutely.
He'd probably send them to space to, like, hyper-preserve people in space.
Like the Jameson satellite.
Yes. Full circle, baby.
Full circle. I also stumbled upon a couple articles of, like, Paris Hilton talking about it, Seth MacFarlane, like, a bunch of celebrities are interested in it.
See, because my thing is I would like to do hot dog, but she obviously can't come alive without me there. Mm-hmm. So I would solely cryo cryogenically freeze myself so that hot dog could live again. Yes.
Something to leave you with, how Alcor at least thinks of death on their website. It was pretty cool.
What'd it say?
On their website, it says, "What is death? Our understanding of death continues to evolve. The definitions of death change over time as medical understanding and technology improve. Someone who would have been declared dead decades ago may still have a chance today. Death used to be when a person's heart stopped and when their heart couldn't be restarted, and is now being extended further." Then it goes on to say the most accurate definition of death says death is only permanent when the structures encoding memory and personality necessary for consciousness have become so disrupted that it becomes theoretically impossible to recover the person. This is called information theoretic death. Any other definition of death is arbitrary and subject to revision. And then it talks about how death is a process. It's not an on-off switch, and that the dying process can be paused. So,
I'm interested. I think I might be leaning towards cryonics now.
Really?
Tina Majorino.
Yes, she did a great episode on it.
Tina did an episode about cryonics on her podcast, No Pressure, which we need to have her come on Obituary.
I would love that.
I texted her about it the other day.
Yes.
We gotta. Very interesting. Thank you.
Yes. The last sentence from Alcor on their website says, "Cryonics is the ambulance to the future."
Oh, I like that. They know what they're fucking doing.
They do.
I like it. Marketing geniuses.
Geniuses.
Okay. Well, I don't know what to say about any of that. I think it's time we get into our obituaries, though.
Speaking of obituaries, I was looking for a cryonics obituary and I couldn't find any.
Well, because they're coming back. They're not dead yet.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, time to get into some obituaries. Okay, so my obituary actually came from a Geoff who wrote into our P.O. box. Madison and Spencer, look at their handwriting, first of all.
Beautiful.
This is my first time writing to you guys, but I think I may have finally found the perfect excuse. I was scanning the obituary section of my local newspaper, love it, the Washington Post, incidentally, the same newspaper in which Amber Heard defamed Johnny Depp. The op-ed. Like I like to do, I think it's really interesting to read about the lives these people have lived, and some of them had really fascinating and impressive ones. I found two in yesterday's paper that stood out to me, and it would be so cool if you wanted to read them on your show. Robert Homan had an amazing life flying planes and started a hugely successful oyster business. His picture shows him receiving an award. We'll post pictures of them. Millie Grimaldi's picture is what first drew me to her obituary. She looks so cute and truly happy. She sounds like such a sweet lady who was such a positive force in the life of her loved ones. I just thought her obituary was so sweet and I wanted to share it with you. I hope you don't mind the actual newspaper clippings and the handwritten letter.
We prefer that.
Yeah, preferred. I think it's so much nicer to get something tangible in the mail. I'd rather do that than email. I hate the email. I'm not that much older than you two. I was born in 1980, but I have always stubbornly preferred pen and paper to digital anything. Plus,
us too.
Yes. Plus, this way, you get to see the actual obituaries and the sweet pictures of Robert and Millie. Enjoy. P.S. I love your show. Nicole from Burke, Virginia.
Thanks,
P.S.
Nicole.
Here's a sticker just for you. I love stickers. Nicole, this is so sweet and so cute.
So thoughtful.
We're with you. We love a handwritten letter. We are not great at digital anything. I don't know how we have a podcast for a job.
I know.
Okay, so I wanted to pick one of the obituaries, and I picked Millie because let me just show you her picture first. The cutest little thing I ever have seen.
That smile is worth $1 million. Look at her.
Happy.
Happy girl.
Happy girl. This is the obituary for Millie Grimaldi, September 29th, 1921 to May 9th, 2022. Wow, over 100. Millie Grimaldi, 100 plus years old, passed peacefully May 9th, 2022 at her home in Boca Raton, Florida. Boca! I love Boca Raton. It's so pretty. Funeral was held May 12th in Delray, Florida. She was predeceased by her loving husband, Fred, whom she met on a dance floor in Manhattan and danced with for 66 47 years of marriage.
God.
Millie and Fred, I just love that, won the famous Harvest Moon Ball around 1940, dancing the Lindy Hop.
Oh my God, why don't we have that anymore?
Oh, come on, bring it back. Millie was the daughter of Esther and Isaac Abulafia, Sephardic immigrants from Salonika, Greece, and Istanbul, Turkey. She was the loving mother of Alan and Camille, grandmother to Jody, Jonathan, Lisa, and Michael, great-grandmother to Millie and Ben, Katie, Juliet, Elle, Jordan, Ryan, Brody, and loving sister to Sam, Ray, and Saul. Millie lived her life for her family, always giving unconditionally. She instilled some of life's most valuable lessons without ever having to say a word. She lived with love and made anyone in her company feel welcome and comfortable. After many years of not having a license to drive, Millie took her driver's test and became a legal driver at the age of 63 years old.
You go, girl.
We go, girl. Millie was a hardworking woman who enjoyed simple pleasures like watching the Yankees with her husband, eating chocolate, reading romance novels, watching Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy, playing cards with friends, cooking delicious Italian meals, and trying her luck at the slot machines. Most of all, she enjoyed spending time with her adoring family, in whom she took great pride and joy. Millie lived an honest life and leaves a legacy of love and family. Her family will miss her dearly, but as she used to say, never say goodbye, just so long for now.
Oh, love her.
Just
Millie.
the best. If you guys saw the picture, when you see the picture, you'll understand. She's just the cutest.
A sweetie.
We love her.
We love her. I have another sweet older woman. Her name is Reba, and it says she passed away comfortably at 84 on September 24th, 2020.
She was a single mom who worked too hard, who loved her kids.
And never stopped.
With gentle hands and the heart of a fighter. Yes. Tell us more. Okay. Who's this Reba? Different Reba.
A native of Detroit. Born to parents Louis and Gert, she and Robert, husband of 60 years, moved to Toronto with their sons in 1968. First trained in teaching, Reba received an MSW degree at the U of T, where she was later on the faculty. Reba's clinical work at New York General Hospital, as well as teaching, researching, and writing, often led her to adventures around the world. A natural activist, she was involved in uncountable volunteer pursuits, including working with Indigenous people of North America and juvenile offenders, and teaching awareness through puppetry.
A puppet leader.
Master.
Wow.
And many years at the Art Gallery of Ontario. Reba loved singing at Temple and with the Toronto Amadeus Choir. Her motto was disturb the universe.
Oh.
Her advice was to rejoice. Booby BB is survived by brother, sons, and adored grandchildren. There was no service, but donations to the Art Gallery of Ontario in her honor are welcome. Love her.
Love it.
Rejoice and disturb that universe, baby.
Sure. God, some great departing words from our gals today. But we've spun in our coffins.
We've bitched our obituaries.
And now,
It's time
for some dumb
Ask
criminals. Let's do it. Okay, I'm just going to read you this article.
Okay.
The bandages are off, but the charges are sticking. An Alabama woman named Iconic Face.
What? That's her legal name.
Well, you'll find out. Was found guilty this week on 2 counts of armed robbery after holding up a Mississippi bank 2 years ago, a crime she allegedly committed to fund her plastic surgery.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Gotta do what you gotta do to secure that bag.
She better look fucking good.
Well, I'll let you be the judge of that when I show you her picture.
Oh, no.
Iconic Face's case was originally slated for trial on June 28th of 2021, but the surgery-obsessed thief requested to plead guilty beforehand. After the 39-year-old's plea, the circuit judge sentenced Iconic Face to the maximum term of 15 years on each count to run concurrently. The Ozark natives' charges stem from a 2019 heist of the Bancorp South in Gulfport, Mississippi. At the time, prosecutors argued that her plan was to rob banks to finance sexual reassignment surgery.
Okay.
Which still, gotta do what you gotta do to get done what you gotta get done. But also, healthcare should
I know,
back in the
that's
conversation.
Absolutely.
Gulfport
She was failed by the system.
Yeah, so actually, we'll blame the government. Gulfport police had been alerted to Face's 2019 crime by a hidden alarm activated at the besieged bank branch. Upon their arrival, bank employees informed officers that the suspect had approached a teller window and handed the clerk a hand-scrawled note that read, "You have 1 minute to give the money. Do not be wrong or die."
Oh, fuck.
Aggressive ransom note. No weapon was seen or shown, although tellers recalled that the suspect had a swollen face indicative of recent cosmetic operations. The robbery was captured on the surveillance system while authorities discovered an abandoned Cadillac near the bank, which they traced back to Face, according to the Associated Press.
Wait, is Iconic her first name and Face is
Yeah.
last? Okay.
Well, okay, so it says that this apparently was not her first time committing a crime. Under her birth name, which they put in here, which I'm not going to read because it's her dead name, Face was found guilty at age 26 of another robbery on January 20th, 2009 in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Alabama. Iconic Face was sentenced and served 51 months in federal prison in that case, in which she reportedly demanded the teller give her at least $20,000. After her release, she legally changed her name to Iconic Face. I think she should I don't know, man. I think she's been punished enough by the plastic surgery.
Let me see. Oh, no, ma'am. You need to stop. You're good. Just stop.
You've had enough.
That money better be for some taking out the fillers.
Yeah, baby. She's fucking something.
Oh,
she is something. But that was my dumbass for this week. You can't rob a bank for plastic surgery.
Well, I wonder if it helped her with her other robberies.
Oh, like getting away with it?
Like different face. Iconic.
Well, clearly not. She got caught.
I know. Well, I have two dumb-ass criminals. Now, Miss Lori Lynn Hayes. She was a 51-year-old woman of Quitman, Texas, and she was not having a good day at all. This was in November, like the end of November, November 28th, 29th. So much so that she decided to walk into a funeral home and disrupted a whole funeral that was happening. And witnesses said that she was showing a ton of animosity towards the family of the funeral, but not as much animosity as she had for the corpse. She walked straight up to the corpse and spit all over it.
Oh,
and then
fuck.
left.
Trash.
Well, okay, so police got an arrest warrant on January 4th for her. She wasn't arrested until June 5th of this year. She was charged with a felony abuse of a corpse. Her bond was $2,500. But every comment that I have seen, like every article that has a comment section on Reddit, Facebook, everything, every comment is like, what the fuck did that man do to her?
Yeah. You gotta wonder.
I found her divorce papers, so I'm wondering if she was getting a divorce and he
it doesn't
fucked
say
her. No, and everyone's like, where's the rest of this article? I tried looking up everything, couldn't find it. But look at her. She looks like, who, me?
She looks like Betty Broderick.
She kind of does, huh? So, okay, then I was obsessed, which actually might be a good coffin spinner one day to really deep dive into, but fights at funerals.
Oh, I love a funeral fight. We just watched Scary Movie the other night. That wasn't
yeah.
a fight, but do you remember when he's on top of Brenda in the coffin?
So in Ireland, this was September 2021 and I'm probably butchering this, Tuam or Tuam, Tuam Cemetery in Ireland. Two local families were at a funeral the same day. One funeral was at 11:30 a.m., one was at 1 p.m., so they were back to back. Apparently, these two families didn't like each other. They had an ongoing kind of feud and problems with each other.
It's like a movie.
It's like a movie. Well, something happened and they all began to fight each other. And I'm not talking verbal assault. I'm talking a huge brawl. People were ripping wooden crosses off of graves, stabbing each other.
Oh, shit.
Insane. insane. According to The Sun, the counselor there, I don't know how the government works there, but I don't know if it's like a city councilor or what, told the Irish Sun, "We're horrified such acts could take place. Those behind it picked up anything they could get their hands on. There were wooden crosses, knives, stones, slash hooks, and there was a chainsaw produced."
What?
Soon, cops, about 30 of them, 5 ambulance and a helicopter unit landed at the cemetery. 8 people were arrested, 5 men and 2 women were injured. Nobody died, thankfully, except for the people that were already dead. And then the counselor goes on to say, "I've spoken to members of the families and they are just disgusted. They never wanted this. It is just a complete lack of respect. The instigators have upset the families. It was levied on families that didn't deserve it," which confused me because I was like, I'm pretty sure it's the families that are fighting.
Yeah.
He goes on to say, "There were 2 families there laying people to rest, 2 funerals, and both families did not instigate this. And this is a very important message to get across because they are grieving today. There were elements that instigated a row in the graveyard, and the families just happened to get caught in the crossfire." I don't believe it. I think someone probably mouthed off to someone else, and they're all grief-stricken, and they just fought. But a chainsaw? Can you imagine? And then ripping wooden crosses off of graves?
Fucking insane. People are dumbasses.
Dumbasses.
God.
Ay, ay, ay.
What are you gonna do? Well, I feel like that about wraps it up for the week, but we do have 2 pieces of mail that we wanted to open, and we already opened them, but we want to tell you guys about them. We couldn't wait. We got these 2 packages. This one came from Tasha, and it's so fucking cool.
It is so cool.
They wrote, "Hi friends, love the pod and both of you. Just wanted to send a little love your way. The only way I know how. Embroidery. Best to you, Tasha." And they sent a really cute card.
Like vintage
postcard.
dinosaur.
From Goofy Golf, the Magic World in Panama City Beach, Florida. They said, by the way, from Orlando, but this card was way too good to pass up. So cute. Okay, so Tasha made us this obituary cross stitch, and it's
the logo, the obituary logo, and
we'll post a picture of it and tag her shop. I want to say it while we're here. It's at The Unusual Needle.
It is so incredible.
It's so good. I'm like, how do you even do something like that? The details are incredible.
These are so special to me. We'll talk about the next one. Just when we opened it, I was like, I'm gonna cry.
I know, Tasha. It's so incredible.
Because people are sitting there making something for us with their hands.
Yeah, we're not those bitches. We're not like, oh, thanks. We're like, oh my God, people sat here and fucking thought of us and did this. Even just writing letters. It's so, never ceases to amaze me. So cool. And it's in a cool gold frame, brass frame.
And we can hang it. Oh my God. We're going to have custody of it. You get it one weekend.
Yeah.
I get it the next.
She has an Etsy shop too. I think her handles on everything are at The Unusual Needle. So thank you, Tasha. So sweet.
Thank you so much. Now, we also have another homemade gift from Rebecca. She wrote us a letter, a nice little card, beautiful handwriting. It says, "Dear Madison and Spencer, obituary has brought me many hours of laughs. I like to listen as I sew. When I heard you had a P.O. box, I thought it might be fun to make you guys a little something while I listen. Thank you for the afternoons of giggles and learning as I stitch away. You guys are the best. XOXO, Geoff, Rebecca." You are.
I also love the card. And actually, I think it's also a Trader Joe's card. It is. I have bought this card before for people. It's so cute.
Okay, this.
Incredible.
Absolutely incredible. It is a quilted banner / table runner / whatever we want it to be. It's literally like a quilt, but it says obituary across it. We are going to post it. It is so
cool.
Cool. Oh, I love these so much.
Well, at our live show, I was telling you the other night after our live show, I want to have like my family's going to be in town. Like people are going to be here. So I was like, oh, I should have a little house. I should have everyone come to my house after the live show. We're going to use that as the table runner for my for the after party.
Absolutely.
So cool. God, you guys are just the fucking best.
I know.
We love ya. If you want to send us stuff, you can send it to P.O. Box 18149, Long Beach, California, 90807. Addressed, of course, to Spencer Henry and Madison Reyes. You can follow along online at obituarypod on Instagram and Twitter. You can write to us, obitpod@gmail.com. And you can also see us live at Irvine Improv, August 4th. Ticket links in description. Automated, babe.
We love it.
Just get through it.
Love you guys so much. Thank you for everything, and we'll see you next week
for some more coffin spinners,
obituaries,
and dumb
ass
criminals. Goodbye.